start a channel, buy a car, build a car, put the world's most generic graphic of said car onto the world's cheapest blank t-shirt, sell these t-shirts as entries into the possibility of winning this car, manipulating hundreds of thousands of people into a false hope that they may just get something in return for supporting you. This was idea one. I think I came up with something a little bit better. And we all know I could not build a car that quickly anyways, so next idea. The idea behind this channel has always been to inspire or educate in a very minuscule type of way, whether I'm showing you a detailing technique that I'm super familiar with, or showing you a new car soap that I think is super cool, or even inspiring you to maybe work on your car in a little bit more intentional type of way to enjoy the process. I've always seen the channel as a peer-to-peer interaction. We're all kind of in this together, trying to figure out how to best take care of these cars and prolong the life of them. I definitely don't discuss it enough, but one of the main reasons I'm super into detailing, the whole ethos behind it, is that I do think it is a major player, a major component in making sure these cars stay on the road as long as possible. Obviously, it's not the only thing. Mechanical work, body work, rust proofing, you name it, these are all major aspects, but I do think they all play an equal role. And within detailing, we're able to kind of maintain the vehicle's body to a point where it's going to be worth saving, it's going to be worth spending that money on the mechanical work down the road. Once the body starts to fail and rust starts happening, people are a lot less likely to spend the money restoring and maintaining these cars. So I think through detailing, we're able to keep them at a point where spending that other money in other places makes it all worth it. And to me, I think that's super special. I want to be 65 years old seeing E30s looking like this, still driving down the road. After spending countless thousands of hours detailing, not mastering it per se as it changes so often, but I'd say getting pretty good at it, I got just a little bit too curious, started taking apart my cars, putting them back together, kinda, maybe one day. But one of the things that I really hyperfixated on was the undercarriage of the E30, learning everything about it, the fail points, the finishes, how things work, what things are made out of, and how I can create the best possible version of that E30 undercarriage for my car. Currently, I'm about 75% of the way there, but I am super happy with what it looks like and how it's coming out. And in doing so, it kind of sparked the business worm in my brain of how can I apply the same ethos as detailing and maybe create something for the undercarriages that is going to really help these cars ensure that they're on the road just a little bit longer than they would be without it. The initial and most prominent idea came from my love for off-road trucks, old Toyotas, new Toyotas, Land Rovers, G-Wagons, basically anything that can drive over a rock. They all have this one major commonality: skid plates. Engine skid plates, drive shaft skid plates, gas tank skid plates, axle skid plates, diff skid plates, suspension skid plates, skid plates. In a world where we're trying to make those trucks as functional as possible to do what they're meant to do, skid plates play a critical role in making sure they can do so. Not that a 35-year-old BMW is trying to drive over a rock in Moab, but those undercarriage components are dangerously close to the roads at all times. And as we kind of diverge as a society, roads seem to be getting worse by the year, especially in Toronto. To keep a long story somewhat short, hired a designer, started looking at different options for what would be the strongest, what manufacturing processes would be the best, but one thing that I kept coming back to was these damn Red 46 skid plates. Now, they don't make them for every model, every option of BMW, but they have a couple for the E30, and in terms of fit, finish, and quality, it's bar none. They are superb, they look incredible, and there's 10 years of history that they function in the exact way that they are supposed to. I had asked my friend Dom at Delta Park Auto what was up with the company. I knew he supplied it for Canada through his store, but I wasn't actually sure of anyone behind the brand or what the ownership looked like. It turns out Dom owned 50% and the other 50% had the possibility of being for sale. Now, you're watching this video, you see the title, you can probably figure out what happened. I now own half of Red 46, Dom owns the other half. We're going to be running it out of his shop in Toronto, and I don't think there's anyone in the Canadian automotive scene that I'd rather own a company with than him. Despite Red 46 having an incredible product, I really do think it's lacked the attention it's deserved over the past 5 or so years. In terms of brand identity, marketing, exposure, it just hasn't been in front of the people that I think would value from it the most. So the way I'm kind of looking at this scenario is we didn't buy an apple tree, we bought the seeds. We're going to plant them, water them, take care of them. Hopefully this thing grows into a fruitful operation for all those involved, and we can create a product that people really benefit and see value in long term. Our first order of business was a little bit of a new look. It shows something that's timeless, but also a little bit fun and playful, which I think we align with very well, and most of you guys will as well. We're currently working on the new website, which will house all the products, but you can also buy them directly from Delta Park Auto on their website or in person. It doesn't matter which URL you support, it's all coming from the same place, and it's all love across the board. Next, we're working on a couple new plates for a couple of different models that haven't been run in the past. We're actually doing the test fit of 2 of them this week. If all goes well, they'll be in full production and they'll be on both our site and Delta Park Auto's website very, very soon. We've started working on the new Instagram page as well. You can follow it at Red46 Motorsport. There's going to be posts going up there regularly. It'll be my documentation, so it'll be a little bit of an inside look on the way I film and record things outside of just my white box detailing shop, which I think should be interesting for you guys, and it's a lot of fun for me as well. There's a million other things on the go, but to bore you with them all in one video, to me, doesn't make a lot of sense. This isn't going to change how things run on this channel whatsoever. It's kind of just like a new character unlocked. I might sprinkle it in here or there when there's things that I'm excited to be working on, but it's not going to be salesy. You're not going to get a sales pitch every single video, just little bits here and there of up-and-coming projects. Now we're going to install the skid plate, show you what it looks like on this 318 IS, show you the benefits, show you the quality, and hopefully you guys can get an idea for what I'm talking about and my love for this type of product. This is a Red 46 Motorsport skid plate. This is the M42 rendition for the E30 chassis, of course. Each oil pan is just a little bit different, so the skid plate needs to be adjusted accordingly so that it can offer maximum coverage and protection for each engine on the car. The skid plates are made out of stainless steel. They're extremely tough, and they also have a really nice finish that I think blends really well with the OEM factors of the E30 chassis, as well as other vintage BMWs. In the future, we're most likely going to offer these in a black semi-gloss powder coated finish, so they'll match the subframe. So if you're looking for an even more seamless look, that will be an option. One of my first bigger projects of the rebrand restructure of Red 46 is creating new installation guides for every engine code on every model. So I'm going to be doing them in print and video. So if you have the pamphlet, you can scan a QR code, check out a video if you are a more visual learner. I know most of us are. And I think anyone watching this video now probably understands that this is a pretty simple piece to install. Cross member bracket, a couple new bolts, boom, bam, and that thing is on the car. But as a brand, we're gonna make it as easy as possible for people and have options every which way they could wish. So now, first thing we do is take off the plastic skid plate, splash guard thing that's under the car, and then we'll get to installing the Red 46 skid plate. traditional design, a simple purpose made out of extremely high quality materials is exactly where we want to be going with this. It integrates super well into the undercarriage of the BMW E30, looking almost OEM. Yes, it is replacing a factory plastic splash guard, which is almost useless to these BMWs nowadays. They oftentimes fall off and they aren't even there when you go ahead and buy one of these cars. I'm one of those guys that would prefer a factory option, an OEM piece, over something aftermarket, but in this instance, it's just not the case. This is replacing something that is almost useless and is making these cars so much more drivable in a modern way so we can enjoy them so much longer. If you made it this far in the video, thank you for watching. I figured there's a little bit of detailing, a little bit of sticker applying, a little bit of install, and about 3.5 seconds of driving. It had it all. So thank you for watching. More on this soon. Catch you guys next week.